You know that feeling when a little disagreement with your partner just blows up and you're not quite sure why it's suddenly so intense?
Hmm.
Well, if that fight happens to be about money, you are definitely not alone. It's incredibly common territory.
Yeah, there was actually a survey, the APA Stress in America one from 2014, that found almost a third of adults with partners said money was a major source of conflict, like 31%.
Wow, nearly a third. That's significant.
It really is. And, recent research backs this up too. These money arguments, they tend to be, well, stickier,
Mm-hmm.
more intense than other kinds of disagreements.
Stickier, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good word for it. They seem harder to really resolve, don't they?
Hmm.
They can leave this like lingering feeling.
Exactly. That sort of background friction. But the good news here, and something the sources we looked at really emphasize, is that getting better at financial discussions.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
Oh, definitely. It's something you can practice and improve on. It's not like
Yeah.
some couples are just, magically compatible with money and others aren't.
That's such a key point. Because often the real issue isn't just the dollars and cents, is it? It's more about these fundamental beliefs about money, stuff that's often unspoken,
Right. Things we bring into the relationship without even realizing it sometimes.
beliefs we probably didn't even talk about when we first got together.
And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Research shows we actually inherit a lot of these attitudes about money from our families, growing up.
These kind of financial blueprints,
Yeah.
how we think about saving or spending or debt. And often it's totally unconscious. We just absorb it.
Yeah, think about it. Early in a relationship, you talk about the big stuff, right? Marriage, maybe kids, where you want to live.
Here, the major life goals.
But how often do people really sit down and say, okay, what are your deep down beliefs about money? What's your comfort level with risk? What are your financial goals?
It's surprisingly often overlooked, a blind spot for many couples.
It really is. But here's what's important, and this came through loud and clear. It's genuinely never too late to start having these conversations.
Absolutely. Whether you're, 6 months in or 20 years down the road, now is always the time.
And that first step, understanding your partner's money history, that seems so fundamental.
Yeah, their sort of financial backstory. What did they learn growing up? What big money moments have they lived through? What emotions does money bring up for them?
Hmm. So, questions you might ask are things like, what did your parents actually teach you about money, explicitly or implicitly?
Right? Or what are your personal financial goals? And maybe even what are you actually afraid of when it comes to money? What are
Mm.
your anxieties?
Asking those questions and really listening. It can be, well, kind of a game changer.
Definitely. Because when you understand why your partner sees money the way they do, you can head off so many conflicts before they even start.
It builds that foundation for healthier joint discussions later on.
Exactly. And it's not just about beliefs. It's also about like the practical side,
Yeah.
how you operate as a team day to day with finances.
Yeah, that same Stress in America survey found only about a third of people felt they had an equal say in financial decisions.
Only a third. And even fewer, just 23%, said they actually shared the management of the household finances equally.
Those numbers are pretty stark, aren't they? It shows how easily couples can just fall into these divided
And
roles.
like maybe one person handles all of the bills and daily spending.
And the other manages the savings, the investments, the long-term stuff.
And while that might seem efficient, divide and conquer,
Yeah, on the surface, maybe?
it can create this built-in tension. One person's always seeing money go out, the other's focus on bringing it in or growing it.
That's a really good point. It sets up this kind of natural opposition.
It can easily lead to misunderstandings, frustration, conflict.
Okay, so what can you actually do about that if you see that pattern in your own relationship?
Well, the sources had a couple of practical ideas. One was kind of interesting, trading roles periodically.
Oh, like actually swapping jobs.
Yeah. So maybe for 1 month, you handle all the bill payments and track the spending, and your partner focuses on the savings goals and investment checks. Then next month, you switch.
Huh. That forces you both to see the other side, I guess. Feel the pressures of both roles.
Exactly. It builds empathy and understanding. The other option is to consciously share the roles more equally.
Right. Be more collaborative.
And one suggestion for that is setting up a regular money date.
A money date. Okay, tell me more.
It's basically just scheduling dedicated time, say once a month, where you both sit down together, pay bills, look at spending, talk about savings progress.
I like that idea, making it intentional.
Yeah, and the advice is to make it less of a chore by, like, tacking on something fun
Oh,
afterward.
smart. Like, okay, we did the budget review, now let's order pizza or watch that movie we wanted to see.
Precisely. It reframes it. Less drudgery, more teamwork, followed by a reward.
It's about making the whole environment around money feel a bit less charged, right?
Totally. And speaking of language and how things feel, there was another neat tip about the words you use.
Okay.
Instead of talking about a budget, which for some people sounds really negative and restrictive,
Yeah, it can feel like a punishment sometimes.
right? Try calling it a spending plan.
Spending plan. I like that. It sounds more proactive, more about choices.
Exactly. It frames it as, okay, together, what do we want to save for and what do we actually want to spend our money on? It's collaborative, not restrictive.
That's a small change, but it could make a real difference in the tone of the conversation.
It really could. Now, of course, even with the best plans and intentions,
Mm.
sometimes financial talks just get heated. It happens.
Oh, for sure. We've all been there.
And the advice then is pretty straightforward. Take a time out. Just step away.
Don't try to push through when emotions are high.
Nope. Let things cool down and agree to come back to it later when you're both calmer. It's okay to disagree. That's normal. The key is how you navigate it.
Good communication, understanding, all that good stuff. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about money imbalance.
Ah, yes, financial inequality. When one partner earns significantly more than the other.
That's a really common scenario too, and it brings its own set of dynamics, doesn't it?
It certainly can. Although it's interesting, for some couples, it's not actually a huge deal.
Really? How so?
Well, often it's when the partner who earns less is contributing a lot in other ways that are equally valued in the relationship.
Like emotional support or handling more of the household stuff or childcare.
Exactly. When those non-monetary contributions feel balanced and appreciated, the income difference itself might not cause much friction.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But for other couples, it does cause problems.
Yes. For others, it definitely raises some tricky questions and feelings. The higher earner might start wondering about the future, maybe even thinking, should I marry someone who earns so much less?
Hmm.
It's uncomfortable, but it happens.
And for the person earning less, it can stir up feelings of stress, maybe inadequacy, or like they aren't pulling their weight financially.
Yeah, it taps into all sorts of societal pressures and ideas about value. And there's some specific negative impacts that can arise from this imbalance. Our sources outline about 5 key ones.
5. Okay, what are they?
So first, skewed power dynamics. Second, just general stress and tension. Third, mismatched lifestyle expectations. Fourth, potential communication breakdowns. And fifth, difficulties with future planning.
Let's unpack those a bit. Power dynamics. How does that play out?
Well, the person earning more might maybe unintentionally just end up having more say in decisions because, well, they control more of the resources.
Mm.
The other partner can end up feeling a bit marginalized.
Okay. And the stress and tension seems obvious, just the disparity itself causing friction.
Mm-hmm. Then you get mismatched lifestyles. One person can afford certain things, wants a certain standard, the other can't, or has different priorities based on their income. That's a classic conflict point.
I can see that. And communication breakdown. Is that the lower earner feeling hesitant to speak up?
Often, yeah, they might feel embarrassed or judged or like their financial concerns will be taken as seriously, so they just clam up.
Which obviously isn't healthy. And the future planning one, that feels big, like buying a house or retirement.
Exactly. Big goals like that. Significant income differences can create real limitations or lead to expectations that just can't be met, which can be really tough for both people.
Wow. Okay, so those are some serious potential pitfalls.
Yeah. And sometimes these pressures can lead to less than ideal behaviors, like financial infidelity.
Financial infidelity. What does that mean exactly?
It's things like hiding bank accounts or lying about how much you earn or spend. Often it stems from that feeling of unfairness or worrying about being judged because of the income gap.
So it's like a secret way of trying to level the playing field or avoid conflict?
Kind of, but it's obviously just a temporary fix, right? It destroys trust in the long run.
Absolutely. What else can come up?
Guilt is another big one. The higher earner might feel guilty about their success, especially if their partner is struggling.
And the lower earner might feel guilty for not contributing more financially.
Mm-hmm. And that guilt can lead them to, sacrifice their own needs or wants because they feel they don't deserve them as much.
That sounds really damaging.
It can be. And then in really difficult situations, you can get actual financial power struggles.
Where the money difference is used deliberately.
Yeah, where the higher earner might use their financial advantage to control or manipulate their partner. That's obviously a huge red flag for the relationship.
Okay, this really highlights why talking about income openly and honestly is so important, ideally early on.
Definitely. And framing those differences not as problems, but as like opportunities to understand each other better, where you each came from, your different perspectives.
And respecting those different views, even if you don't personally agree with them, that seems crucial.
Absolutely paramount. You have to respect where the other person's coming from financially.
So, given all these potential challenges, what are some concrete things couples can actually do if they're dealing with a significant money imbalance?
Right, the practical stuff. Our sources laid out about 13 tips, actually. Quite a comprehensive list.
13. Okay, let's hear them.
So first step, get a really clear picture. Evaluate your expenses and your incomes together. Put it all out there, who earns what, where the money's going, big expenses, small ones.
Just lay it all bare, basically. Transparency.
Exactly. Then tip 2, talk about the disparities and agree on how you'll handle things fairly.
Like how bills get split, who pays for dates, utilities, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Decide together. Maybe it's not a 50-50 split on everything. Maybe it's proportional to income. Maybe you use joint accounts for some things and separate for others. Find what feels fair and like teamwork for you.
Could be like unequal bill splitting, but maybe the lower earner always covers dinners out or
Yeah.
one specific utility.
Something like that, yeah. Whatever works. The key is agreeing on it together. Then third, create that sustainable spending plan we talked about earlier.
Collaboratively, based on both incomes.
Right. It helps communication, helps you see where the money's going, and hopefully gets rid of any guilt around spending.
Okay, makes sense. What's number 4?
Appreciation. If one partner is shouldering more financially, the other should actively show gratitude and step up with non-financial support.
Like doing more chores or helping them prep for a big work presentation.
Exactly. Tangible support. And that flows into number 5. Support each other's careers. Actively champion their goals, cheer them on, regardless of who earns what right now.
That's huge for morale and partnership, I imagine.
Definitely. Number 6, those relationship meetings again. Schedule regular check-ins specifically for finances. Talk concerns, needs, expectations, figure out solutions together.
Keeps the communication channel open proactively. Good. 7.
Avoid assumptions. Don't leap to conclusions about why your partner spends something or what they're doing with their money. Talk first.
Don't assume financial infidelity just because something looks weird on the statement.
Right. Ask. Number 8, make sure both partners have some personal money, some fun money, discretionary funds, whatever you call it, that they can spend without needing permission.
Yeah, that sense of individual autonomy is important.
Very. Number 9, enjoy your money together. Build shared fun into the plan. Vacations, nice meals, whatever you both enjoy. It's a reward and strengthens the bond.
Good reminder that money isn't just for bills. Okay, 10.
Embrace transparency. Just be open about your situation, your views on joint finances.
Which links to 11. Embrace honesty. Not just about money, but everything. It builds that strong foundation, especially crucial when dealing with inequality.
Couldn't agree more. And number 12, keep an emergency fund, a joint one.
Ah, the safety net. For unexpected stuff like car repairs or job loss.
Exactly. Aim for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. It reduces stress, and it's a joint effort. Reinforces that team feeling.
Okay, that was 13. No, wait, that was 12. Is there a 13th?
You know what? I think I miscounted earlier when summarizing. Those 12 cover the core practical strategies highlighted. My apologies.
No worries at all. 12 solid tips there. So wrapping things up, it's really clear, isn't it? Money and relationships are just like deeply tangled together.
Absolutely. It's not just about the math. It's about the emotions, the history, the power dynamics, understanding that human side is key.
And that question of whether money issues actually cause breakups, it seems like it's less about the money itself and more about how couples deal with it, right?
That's what the sources suggest. It's the communication breakdown, the clashing values, the inability to work as a team on finances that really does the damage.
So the key takeaways seem to be talk openly about your money beliefs. Really listen.
Work as a team, collaborate on your finances.
And if there's an income imbalance, tackle it head on with transparency, fairness, and respect.
Exactly. Ignoring these things. That's where the real trouble starts.
Okay, so here's a final thought for everyone listening. Think about your own upbringing, those early messages you got about money. How might they be playing out, maybe subtly, in your relationship right now?
That's a powerful question.
And maybe what's just one small thing, one tiny step you and your partner could do this week to start a slightly more open conversation about your finances.
It really is about those small steps towards understanding. towards collaboration.
Absolutely. Well, this has been really insightful. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please do hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss our next one.
And we'd love to hear from you.
Definitely. Got thoughts? Questions? Maybe your own spicy takes on money and relationships? Drop them all in the comments below. We genuinely love hearing what you think.